you're in Steve's Kitchen, and today, as part of the meat series, we are going to make something very simple: jerky. One of my favorites. Very expensive to buy if you buy it pre-made in the shops, but so easy to make. In fact, realistically, you just need some good beef and a little bit of salt, but it wouldn't be jerky if we didn't add some flavors and spices. Now, if you just come down here, I'll show you the beef that we're going to need. We call this silverside. I believe in the US they call it round. And this is a fairly lean piece. We've cut the meat off, or I've asked my butcher to trim all the fat off, sorry. And I'm going to be cutting this beef into slices, probably about 3/4 of an inch across. So what we do, I'll just show you what this looks like. We'll just slice it through. I'm going across the grain, and that means the grain on this meat is running in this direction. But if you look at that beef, it has a lovely marbling of fat in there. And that not only is going to give us lots of flavour, it makes really good beef jerky. So we're going to slice up this beef. I'm not going to use this whole joint here, about 1 kilo or 2 pounds for this recipe if you want to follow along. So I'm just going to go and continue to cut this piece of beef up into strips. The next thing I'm going to do is lay this piece of beef out flat. And to make our jerky, I want to cut this into strips, probably about 1/2 inch long, so we end up with beautiful strips of beef like that. So there you see I have all my beef sliced up and ready to cure. Now, as I said, you could actually sprinkle salt onto this. It would probably take a tablespoon or two to coat this in salt, and that will draw the moisture off. I'm not using salt in this recipe. What I am using is a light soy sauce, which has a high salt content in it, so I'm using this to draw the moisture out of our meat. So the mix I'm going to use now has the right content of salt to draw the moisture out, but the spices and the herbs I put in are down to you. You can copy what I'm doing, but you can add other spices and herbs in and just have some fun with the different flavors. So we're going to take our beef now. Just going to pop this into a glass bowl. Now it needs to be either an earthenware, glass or plastic bowl. Don't use a metallic bowl. Now I like the flavor that soy sauce adds, and as I said to you, it also gives me that saltiness that I need. So I've just popped 1/2 cup of soy sauce in there. I've got a couple of tablespoons of soft brown sugar just to add some sweetness. Let's put a teaspoon of onion salt in there as well, and at least a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. I have some dried chili flakes as well, just to give a little bit of spice. I'm going to sprinkle some of that on there as well. And why not? I'm going to put a tablespoon of Worcester sauce in there as well. Now we need to coat the meat over with this, so best thing really is to get your hands in there and start to turn that meat over and get a good coating. Then we want the salts to do their work. The salts are going to draw some of the moisture out of this meat before we cure it. So I'm going to pop this in the fridge overnight, about 8 hours, and that will allow some of the water to come out of the beef. Good morning, and that beef has been soaking in all those flavors overnight. If you come and have a look, all the liquid that's come off of there. And I did give it a couple of turnovers to make sure it was completely coated. It's absorbed all that wonderful flavor. Now I'm going to show you how to make this without any dehydrator. It's the way I normally make it. You don't need any complicated equipment. All we're going to need is some nice open airy racks like this, and we're going to lay our pieces of beef out. In the past I have taken the beef, put little sterilized paper clips and hung them up in a breezy area, and that's a way of letting them dry. All you're trying to do is to make sure there's airflow. Any of the moisture's coming off of this meat, there's airflow and it's being taken away. So take the strips of beef now, and we're just going to lay them out on our cookie rack. Now there needs to be space between each piece of beef as well. We want complete airflow around the beef. So you can see the way they're lined up now. If you had these hung on little paper clips in a nice breezy area, they would dry out very quickly. Now, if you're worried about the drips from the juice, then you need to put something underneath. Now, I've got a place in my back room here where I can stand these, and then all I need is airflow. And I'm going to suggest that if you've just got a regular household fan, you can turn it on a low setting and let it blow across the meat. Now, as that airflow goes across the meat, it's taking away the moisture, and you will be really surprised how quickly this beef jerky dries out. One of these batches I'm spicing up a little bit. I've got white pepper in here, coriander in here. This batch here, I'm just going to put some white pepper, a little bit of extra white pepper over the top, and the coriander seeds as well. So I've got 2 different flavors just to experiment with, and they are ready to go and dry. So with a simple household domestic fan like that, I'm just blowing across the surface of the beef. And we could always tilt up the rack a little bit like this, but you'll be surprised how quickly this beef is going to dry out. Now it's been another 3 hours, 5 hours in total, and you'll see the beef jerky has dried out even further. And it's quite stiff. You can pick it up. It's starting to dry out quite well. Now look at the colours now. The beef is going a nice dark colour. Now it's important wherever you are in the world that the humidity will change. Here in Melbourne we are quite dry. If you're in a country where the humidity is high, you are going to want to actually do this in the warmer months. It's been a little short of 24 hours, but I want to show you now what's happened to my beef jerky overnight. So just come with me. Take a look just how dry this beef jerky has gone now. It's pretty firm. It's dehydrated as much as I like. I like it a little extra moisture. Let's get this back in the kitchen. I'll show you what it looks like. So you can see now just how stiff that beef jerky has become. I've got a piece of the peppery jerky here, and I will just cut that through. It is beautiful and tender. You can see in the center there. Hopefully that's going to focus. Now I'm going to cut myself a slice of this off. That is ready. Now you can continue to dry this a little further if you like your beef jerky much drier, but I like it like this, and it'll probably be gone pretty damn quickly. So let's give this a try. It's chewy. I'll just swallow that. Normally I chew that for ages and get all the flavor out of it. Now you can experiment with the different seasoning on this. You could even add a sprinkling of extra salt on as well. But I can tell you, it isn't difficult to make. It tastes delicious. It's a much cheaper way than buying it in the stores. So if you decide to give this a go, tell me what seasoning you use. Comment down below and share some pictures across to me on Facebook or Google+. I'd love to hear how it goes. Anyway, be good. Thank you for watching again. Share the love, give this one the thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next episode. So you know what I'm going to be nibbling on for the rest of the day, beef jerky. And I hope you've enjoyed the little meat series that we've been doing. I'll leave a link up here to it and to another video as well. And I'd love to hear your comments. Take care and see you in the next video. Be good.